I feel like when I bought my first house in cash, that was kind of like, oh, I'm like, something's working. I'm doing something right.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to Creator Economics, episode 7. And today we have a special guest coming to you from Houston, Texas. I'm in Dallas, Blake's in Detroit, 3 different areas. This creator has over 25 million, yes, I said that correctly, 25 million subscribers. And this was a number that we just threw out there, and I couldn't believe it. 8.4 billion total views across those channels. That's not a typo. It is 8.4 billion views. He's one of the biggest family-friendly creators on YouTube. This should be an interesting discussion, channeling business, Minecraft, YouTube. Welcome, Unspeakable, or Nathan. I'm going to call you Nathan. I don't really ever call you Unspeakable, but Unspeakable Gaming. Welcome to the podcast.
What's up? What's up? Thank you so much for having me. This is actually my first podcast I've ever been on, so I feel honored.
Wow.
I was on one podcast like a year or two ago, but it wasn't like an official kind of, like, it wasn't aired on anything. It was just for fun.
Yeah, don't take that away from us. We'll take it. First podcast.
First podcast, so let's make it a good one.
There we go. And this is always a place that I want to start with most YouTube creators that we speak with is like, when did you start YouTube? And was this something that you had envisioned yourself always doing?
Good question. Yeah. So I envisioned myself doing it, yes, but I didn't envision it getting as big as it is. I think most people can probably feel the same way. I started YouTube in probably the end of 2010 or beginning of 2011. I had this one channel and I did like probably 10 or 20 videos on it, and I just deleted it because I hated the channel. I hated the way I recorded. My name was something stupid. It was like Mr. Gaming. Like, I was like, this is the most unoriginal, terrible thing that I've ever seen. So I deleted it, scrapped all of it, and I came up with the name Unspeakable, and that's where Unspeakable Gaming was born. So I have 3 YouTube channels today. Unspeakable Gaming was my original one, my first ever channel, or second channel, I guess you can say. But yeah, so it's been about 9 years, coming up on 10.
Were you in school at that time, or was that after school?
Yeah, I was in school. I was in when I started the channel, I think I was actually in 8th grade, going into high school. So yeah, I pretty much did YouTube throughout my entire 4 years of high school.
Wait, for context, how old are you now?
Right now I'm 22.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So when did you officially jump into it full time? Was it just right after high school, or did you drop out of high school?
Pretty much jumping into it full time. I mean, I tried to do as much as I could during high school, but obviously high school took up a lot of time. I was in sports and all that. So yeah, I would say when I graduated, I was full time. When I graduated high school, I think I was almost at 1 million subscribers.
Do you remember back when you started YouTube, like what channels you were watching and who you took inspiration from?
Yeah, that's a good question. I watched Captain Sparkles. PewDiePie was obviously one of the biggest, still is the biggest. I watched Jerome ASF. All the big like OG Minecraft creators, Beijing Canadian, Mitch. I'd say that's about it. I only had about 3 or 4 people that I'd really watch.
Is that why? Because you started with Minecraft, correct? There wasn't another video game. It was all Minecraft.
No, started with Minecraft, yeah.
So I think the rabbit hole we could go down with Minecraft is quite large. But I do want to ask you some Minecraft questions. And, this is something that I've found very interesting over the last 6 to 8 months is there's still like this old, I don't even want to say old Minecraft guard, because you guys appeal to still young kids that are watching Minecraft. But I feel like Minecraft's broken into like 2 different segments on YouTube right now. It's like these long dream-esque videos that I think 16 to 18-year-olds are watching. And then there's the content that you kind of specialized in. And Preston and some of the other guys that appeal to that like 10 to 16-year-old range. What do you think, and why do you think there's been a rise in content within Minecraft that has appealed to an older age? Like, because I'm still fascinated by Dream's channel
Yeah.
every time I see it.
So it's a good question, and it's a hard question as well. I think with Minecraft, history kind of repeats itself. Back in the older days, everyone was doing, Hunger Games videos. They would do survival videos. They would just do simple competitions in Minecraft, and that's what got millions of views. And then eventually that stuff died off, and everyone started doing some bunch of weird stuff in Minecraft. Everyone was just kind of doing their own thing. Role plays were happening. Role plays were huge. And then once we got past the whole role play phase, now we're in this random phase of like, who can steal each other's diamonds and who can prank your friends and all this stuff. And now I feel like it's kind of going back to what we had, 4 or 5 years ago, where we're playing Minecraft Hunger Games. We're doing these speedrunner things. Minecraft speedrunner has always been a thing. Dream didn't create it. People have always been playing that, but it's just, he made it huge. Now, how he made it huge, I think one of the reasons is definitely because the dude's insanely good at Minecraft, but also I think it's because Minecraft is repeating itself. I guarantee you, if Dream or Mr. Beast, Preston, one of these big Minecraft YouTubers would upload like a Minecraft Hunger Games, everyone else would start uploading it, and that would be the new trend. Even though we've already been through the Minecraft Hunger Game phases, 4 or 5 years ago, where that's only what people played. So I think, history just kind of repeats itself, and I think the creators just kind of control the market, but at the same time, the viewers kind of decide what's popular.
Wow. Yeah, I think watching that rise, and I think for me, it's just crazy because Minecraft is still, number one and continues to be number one on YouTube. And when you were watching even back in the day, like, were you just playing Minecraft for fun and then you just decided like, oh, I should just start making videos? Or how did you think about that?
Yeah, literally. So I used to make videos just in my room, just stupid stuff. I mean, we actually made little vlogs, and we'd make the dumbest videos of us playing airsoft or paintball, or I'd make videos about my Lego castle that I built or whatever. And then obviously one of the games I liked was Minecraft, so I was like, why don't I make Minecraft videos? Because that's so easy. Making vlogs is hard because I'm I don't even have a camera. I don't even know where to begin. I'm not about to make a video over all my monster truck collection. No one cares about this. But so I was like, recording Minecraft videos is so easy. Anyone can do it. All I got to do is download OBS. I don't even need a face cam. All I need is a computer and a mic, and that's it. And I can start making Minecraft videos, and that's just how it started. Because I was like, this is just fun. I love the game. Why not try to commentate over it and just, I don't know. It's like the move. It's what everyone was doing. So
I think it's one of those things where it just continues to grow. Well, I mean, I think right now it's for sure having a moment with Dream and Tommy and these people. Do you think that Minecraft has staying power for another 5, 10, 15, 20 years? How do you think about that as the life cycle of these games? Because I mean, I play a lot of League of Legends, and people are always like, I don't know, there's gonna be another game that replaces that. But in my mind, I think I can make a case that it's gonna be around for 20 years. But I'm curious for Minecraft how you think about it.
I mean, it's hard because no one really knows the future, but I think as long as the audience is there, as long as there's demand and as long as the content is there, I think Minecraft will stick around as forever, maybe, honestly. I mean, it could be 5, 10, 15. I could easily see it being 20 years. It's just because it's such a diverse game. I mean, there's no limits to what you can do in it. It's like recreating life almost in a way. There's no limits. I think it's going to be around for quite a while.
So this is something that I always find interesting. And before I started working with you and Preston, I knew nothing about, obviously I'd played Minecraft. I knew nothing about servers and owning and running your own server. So let's talk about the ways that creators outside of AdSense, but let's just specifically talk about Minecraft creators and how you guys are making money and the different buckets. Because I want people to understand that are listening to this podcast that, Minecraft presents a lot of opportunities to, build your own maps and creations for your videos, but it also presents a lot of opportunities to make money in other areas that people probably didn't even know existed.
Yeah, so there's a lot. I mean, just kind of depends on what route you want to take. I mean, you have obviously AdSense will make you income. Merchandise will make you income. You have Minecraft servers that can make you income. Any type of server, even Roblox servers, just about any game, you can make income on the actual game if it's big enough, at least. I see some creators doing like Patreon kind of stuff where they're like, support your creator and they'll give you messages every month. That can be a good way to do things. Creating, certain campaigns. I mean, it's pretty endless. And then obviously brands reaching out as well. Brands wanting to sponsor things is pretty huge. I mean, there's really no end to that.
So let's dig into servers a little bit deeper, because I'd imagine you said that Minecraft servers, and a lot of people listening to the podcast went, "What the hell does that mean?" So let's dig into like what is a Minecraft server? How do you create a Minecraft server? And then the most important thing that I think people are probably trying to understand is like, how do I monetize a Minecraft server?
Yeah, so it's a little difficult, and it's definitely changed over the years with Minecraft putting out certain laws with EULA and all that. I mean, but basically what a Minecraft server is it's a place where you and a bunch of other people can hop on and play games together. It's almost like when you hop in a Call of Duty lobby and you're, playing Search and Destroy with your friends or whatever. I don't think there's Search and Destroy in Minecraft, but there's a bunch of fun games on these servers, Bed Wars, Factions, Skyblock, tons of these popular games, and they make money because people will pay money for either ranks, they'll pay money for special items, or they'll donate to the server just because they love it and they're helping out the development team. Now, in terms of making a server, over the years, it's gotten more and more complicated. Now we're seeing these servers have very complex development teams, some of them being with 10 employees, developers, managers around the server. Some of them I've seen teams as big as up to 100 people just for one server. So, I mean, running a Minecraft server is a real business for sure. And it's a lot of competition too. It's not like you're just going to start up a server and have 500 players on it next week. There's a whole market for it. It's almost like growing a YouTube channel. It's really difficult.
So fascinating. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So how big right now, how big is your current team that's like helping you for videos, like building maps? Maybe it's on the Minecraft server side. And also on top of that question, how old are these kids that are also helping you guys out?
Yeah, so pretty much everyone we have is over 21. So I have a Minecraft kind of director that helps me organize a lot of the recordings throughout the week. Right now, we only have 2 like full-time map creators, and everyone else is kind of contracted out. We have a couple thumbnail designers that will help us with all their thumbnails. And then we have, in terms of the server team, I want to say with admins and everything, oh my gosh, I forgot last time I want to say it's at least 15 or 20 people. Mm-hmm. I don't have an exact number, but around that range, I would say.
Wow. Is that just for the Minecraft side of it?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I guess taking a step back, like, when did you make your first hire? I guess like it was an editor, or like when did you first decide to like grow your channel in that regard? Because it's something that Reed and I have talked quite a bit about. It's just like, I think making that first hire, it can be a jump, especially with trust.
It is.
I'm curious how you thought about all that.
It was really scary. So I edited my own videos for a really, really long time. I think the first 3 or 4 years on YouTube, and even my first 3 or 4 years of YouTube didn't really take off that much, so I wasn't like that busy, and I only had one channel too, so it wasn't too much to manage. But my first hire was an editor, because I thought to myself, if I want to open more channels or if I want to upload more videos, I mean, the only way I can do it is I have to stop editing. I have to stop editing my videos because with how much time I take editing one video, I could record one, two, maybe even three other videos. So that was the first move I made, was to hire an editor. Then it was, I think my second one was a thumbnail designer. And then my third one was a full-time map creator.
And then what's the current team look like right now across all of your channels? I'm guessing I know the answer to this, but I want to ask it so people can understand. Are you making people work on certain channels? Are people responsible for just,
Yeah.
all four? Like, how does that look right now?
So right now the vlogs have the biggest operation. It's what we've been focusing on the most, just because that's what's pulling the most amount of views, getting the most amount of attention, and it also requires the most amount of work, because it's pretty easy to load up a Minecraft world and just record, but it's not as easy to build an entire Lego house or something, a little more advanced. So we have a lot more people focusing on the vlogs. Our current team right now, I don't have an exact number. I want to say 18 or 19 people. I know we're hiring 2 to 3 more people, like literally this week as we're speaking. And that doesn't include the merch team either, or the server team. So if you include those two, you're probably looking at a number of like 35 and maybe 40.
Yeah.
So.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible. I mean, you're running like a full real business, and I think when a lot of people look at YouTube, they don't realize how much work is actually going into all this, and I think it's incredible that you've done that.
It's a lot. It's a lot more than just posting a video. There's so much that goes into it. I mean, I'm building a community. I'm building an active audience. I'm building, this super fan following. And there is, I mean, I can't begin to stress how much goes on behind the scenes of the vlogs, and the vlogs are just ridiculous. The Minecraft videos, that's the easy part. That makes any other content just look super, super easy to film.
Yeah. So you said vlogs multiple times, and we're also talking about a Minecraft channel. So for people listening, those are 2 separate channels. I remember you and I having a conversation about a year and a half ago as you had started your vlog channel, and I believe it had under 1 million subscribers, but it was like catching steam. And you asked me a question of like, "Hey, what do you think I should do here? Because most of my time is focused on these gaming channels. What do you think I should do with this real life channel?" And it was also at the time when Preston had transitioned his Minecraft channel to a real life channel. Why was that important for you to double down on the real life channel and then actually like segment out different channels, one for Minecraft, one for like variety games? Like what made that pivot?
Yeah. So it's a good question. I think, it's almost like being on every social media platform. If you want to be an influencer, you want to be on Instagram, you want to be on Twitter, you want to be on TikTok. And I feel like that's kind of the same way as a YouTuber. As a YouTuber, you kind of want to hit all the categories. You want to be a gamer, you want to be a vlogger. Maybe some people want to be a musician. And that's kind of what I wanted to do. I saw a huge opportunity in vlogging. I saw a huge kind of gap in content that needed to be filled. I saw, one day I sat down and I thought of vlogs and challenges that I could do, and my list was endless. I mean, I literally created a 3-4 page list of ideas, and I was like, if you think about it, there's no limit to what you can do in a vlog, because this is real life. Really the only limit, the only thing that's stopping us is, money, honestly. Like, how much money do I have to spend on this video? Can I buy a house, and can I do this? Can I, buy a Lamborghini and then give it away? That's really the only thing that stops the content, I feel like.
It's I mean, I think you've executed really well on this multi-channel strategy, and I think Reed has several clients that have been able to do that, and I think it's really, I give you a ton of credit, because I can't even imagine. I mean, I look at these channels, and I think you probably have 4 or 5 that you're active on right now and uploading, and these are, I mean, it's not just active, like you're uploading multiple times per week to these channels. And I think there's most creators are struggling to get like one video out per week. I'm curious how you think about like, uh, is it a lot of that on your team to help, like you're coming up with the ideas and then you're like, okay, I'm showing up, we're shooting, and then like we're gonna get a video out? Or how do you think about just that process of coming up with ideas and then actually making sure that you get a video out on all these channels per week?
Yeah, so we've pretty much nailed it down to a point where we've almost perfected it, but uh, I will show up at a time, let's say 10 o'clock in the morning, for instance. I'll show up at 10 o'clock, and when I show up within, 15 to 20 minutes, we will start filming. Everything will be set up, whether it's a vlog or it's a Minecraft video. Everything is set up. Everything is planned. Everything is ready to go. The only thing we need to do is get our mics on and start rolling. And then the second we stop filming, we are either moving on to another video or I'm going on to something else, whether it be a meeting, a discussion, off to the next shooting location. So it's pretty much nonstop. We used to be struggling because I would think of everything. I would think of the ideas for all the channels. Because not only do you need an idea for a video, but you also need to figure out what is going to happen throughout the entire video. So it's not like we just think of an idea and then we just pick up the camera and start filming. No, we need, what's going to happen in the video. If we're doing 12 weird ways to sneak candy into a movie theater, we need 12 different ways. We need a movie theater. We need candy. We need all these props. We need tickets. We need, there's just so many small things that go into it. Maybe we need a different lens for our camera because since a movie theater is low lighting, we're going to have to, raise the exposure, lower it, or whatever. I'm not a videographer, so I don't know, but yeah, it's just a lot. It's a lot that goes into it.
What's one thing? So you started Minecraft or started making YouTube videos early on. What's one thing that you've learned over this process now of multiple channels and content diversification that you wish you had known when you first started creating content on YouTube? Is there one thing that stands out to you? Because I'm guessing this would also help a lot of smaller creators who are potentially listening to this, who are like trying to start their career and make it right now, that probably don't know what you're about to tell them, or maybe it's some little, thing about YouTube that you've just learned.
Yeah, I mean, definitely a hard question for sure. You kind of just have to find your own style. And you also don't want to copy people. I feel like a lot of people, when they start off YouTube or they start something big that they want to do and accomplish, they're copying people. And, it's not necessarily, it's not a bad thing, but you just don't want to do it because it's not going to be original. And I think a lot of people copy people because they look up to the biggest person in that space. And they're kind of seeing the moves they make, seeing the things they do. And they start doing moves like them because they want to be big like them, like Mr. Beast, like PewDiePie. But the thing is Mr. Beast, PewDiePie, these bigger creators, they're always going to be 1, 2, 15 steps ahead of you. You're never going to be able to catch them because they already did that stuff. So it's really just about, being original, trying to do your own challenges. Now, of course, a lot of the videos I've made, people have made before. But I do like to put my own twist to them. I like to make them different. I'm not copying people's video like word for word, but yeah, we like to, a lot of the challenges that we do, we're trying to make stuff that no one has ever made before or no one has ever created. And the other thing is obviously for coming up and being a new creator, you're going to fail a lot. Every video is just going to fall flat on its face. I remember when I first started YouTube, I remember the first video I uploaded, it had 0 views for an entire week. 0 views. Nothing. Okay, it had 4 or 5 views, but those 4 or 5 views were from me clicking on the video, refreshing it, seeing if it got any more views. And you got to think of YouTube as you're slowly just building momentum. And the biggest thing is you have to stay consistent with it. You're building momentum. And the second you stop being consistent, you stop uploading good, awesome content, you're gonna fall on your face, and all your momentum is just gonna be lost. So it's hard to be. It's definitely hard to keep up with. But at the end of the day, you gotta have fun. You gotta be authentic. You gotta be yourself, and make content that no one's ever seen before.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, you just touched on something that I think is totally key here, where it is really hard to continually put out like high quality content over an extended period of time. I mean, for you, you're doing it across 4 or 5 channels, and you've been doing this for what, like almost 10 years. How do you think about just avoiding that burnout or the fatigue of that? I have to imagine there's like a constant burn of like, oh my gosh, I need to put out a great video. I need this channel or this video to perform well. How do you just think about all of that?
I don't know. It's really hard. It's like a hard question. Take some days off, I guess. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, like, I'm extremely passionate about making videos, and I think that's why I haven't gotten burned out. If I didn't have the passion that I have, I mean, like, I don't think I would have been burnt out a long time ago. I would have stopped YouTube a long time ago. So I think that's like one of the biggest things that drives me is this is my passion, and I don't feel like I'm working. When I'm here at the office late at night, or I'm, waking up at 8 o'clock in the morning to go film vlogs, I don't feel like I'm working. I'm feeling like I'm going to do something fun, even though that day I may be filming for only 2 hours and the other 6 hours I'm sitting in meetings. I still feel like I'm having a lot of fun because everything is just going towards my passion.
Yeah, one thing Nathan's done really well too is like you're really good at disconnecting from your YouTube company and like taking a 3-day vacation, shutting your phone off, like going with,
I'm not that good.
It maybe not the shutting your phone off, but like, like you going to like Aspen, like you traveling, right? Like disconnecting through travel, like you've gotten really good at that. And I think some of, other YouTubers can really learn from you of like, hey, if you're going to work really hard, make sure you enjoy life along the way. And I think that's one thing that you've been able to do really well. And you're still young, like you have a long career ahead of you. And I think if you had that mentality of like, I'm going to work 7 days a week, I'm going to outgrind people, you would eventually burn out. But I think you have a really good like balance of this right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I think it's really important to just live in the moment. I mean, whatever you're doing, just be all in. If I'm filming a vlog, I'm 100% there in the vlog. If I'm at home playing with my cat, I'm focusing on playing with my cat. I'm not focusing on the vlog that I filmed 3 hours ago. So,
do you feel like you're trying to catch someone on YouTube? Are you competing against yourself? When you think about competition, like what's driving you to continue to grow on YouTube?
That's a good question too. I mean, I'm not really
spitting out good questions, Nathan.
Every question is a good question. You're hitting me with good ones, okay? These are all really, really good questions. I mean, obviously, yes, other creators larger than me are my competition. And do I want to pass them in views and subs and all of that? Yeah, that would be awesome. But that's not really what drives me. I think what drives me is just being able to create hilarious videos that people can enjoy. And at the end of the day, when I see all of these kids, be so happy about watching the video, and 1 week when we don't upload or we miss one day and people are freaking out and they're like, I'm getting tagged in all this stuff. Where is Unspeakable? Where is he? I think it's like, that's really what drives me is all the fans. I think if I didn't have all these fans just supporting me and just loving these content, and every video we post is getting, 100,000 plus likes and 10,000 comments, I think that's really what drives me is, coming back to all those fans and producing a better video each week.
Do you remember, I guess, like a specific moment early on where you were like, I made it, or like, this is actually working? Do you think it was when you hit that 1 million subscribers? Like, was it your first brand deal, or like, when do you think like your parents, or I'm assuming your parents are probably all bought in at this point, but like, when were you like, your parents are like, oh my gosh, this is real? Or when did you feel like it's like, this is taking off?
I mean, I don't think I ever made it because I feel like if I tell myself I made it, then I'm gonna stop trying. So I've never made it. I've just getting started, honestly. But I feel like when I bought my first house in cash, that was kind of like, oh, I'm like, something's working. I'm doing something right. When I bought my first house in cash and I moved out at 19 years old. Yeah. Right after high school, when most people were trying to figure out which college I should go to, I bought my first house in cash and I moved in, bought all the furniture, bought everything for it, bought a new car. And it's not like I was going on a spending spree or anything. It's just the things I needed because I wanted to get out of my parents' house. I wanted to start kind of a new era of my life, and pursue YouTube full time.
And your family, parts of your family are still involved in the company. So your mom runs your, merch company.
Mm-hmm.
You want to talk a little bit about that? I think a lot of YouTubers kind of default to like outsourcing to a company that exists, like a Fanjoy or something like that. You've kind of been able to build an internal merch company over the last 4 years that has scaled pretty wide into other categories like toys and things that you've created now. Let's talk a little bit about that, because that's a large business we haven't touched on.
So merch is pretty huge. I started merch about, I want to say, 4 years ago, and I started off, contacting some random designer that I found on Twitter, and I was like, "Hey, man, I need a logo for my brand. I don't really know what I want, but I want it to say Unspeakable," and that's about all I knew. So finally got a logo, and then what I did is I didn't want to go to one of these companies. Like, I do everything the hard way because I feel like if you do it the hard way, that's the right way. So I was like, I'm going to do all this myself because I want to learn how to make a merch company. So after I got my logo, I contacted a screen printing company that was in my area that had a lot of great reviews. I think I got 300 or 400 shirts printed and maybe like 200 hats, 3 or 4 different colors, and they all came in all different sizes, all the youth sizes, all the adult sizes, whatever. Went over to Home Depot after that. I bought some shelves, and this was still at my mom's house. I was still living at my mom's house, and we had a two car garage, and we didn't have a big house or anything fancy like that. We're in a pretty normal neighborhood, but she gave me my part of the garage since I was old enough to drive a car, and I moved my car outside. I cleared everything out, and I made that spot in my garage my new merch fulfillment center. So I started promoting merch on the channel, and when I started promoting merch on the channel, I think I was almost at 1 million subs, and then pretty much from there it just grew. Merchandise grew with the channel. As I made more videos, I promoted more merch. As I promoted more merch, some of the merch promos that I would put on videos would get 1 million views, and it was just, I was just marketing my merch. And eventually it got to the point where we had to move merchandise into the house, and it took over the biggest room and the garage. And then it got to the point where I couldn't handle it because I was focusing a lot on my videos. So my mom wasn't working at the time, so she was like, "I'll take over." And I was like, "Sure thing. I mean, you already live here, like, take over." So she started fulfilling stuff. And then it got to the point where I moved out of the house because, one, I wanted to move out and, start my own thing. But also the merchandise was actually flowing over into my room. So turned my room into more merch fulfillment. And then, further down the line, we got our first office space, which I think was like about 3,000 square feet. And we outgrew that and we had 5 or 6 employees there. And then we completely outgrew that. And now we're in a 8,000 square foot warehouse. We have nearly 300,000 products in stock. And we're doing well over 10,000 orders a month.
Wow.
Gosh.
Yeah. So it's grown huge. I mean, we have USPS coming every hour to pick up stuff. It's pretty unreal how much it's grown. I obviously didn't see it getting this big, and I don't know what I'm going to do with myself in 2 to 3 years when I have to get another warehouse.
So you're 22 years old. How much longer do you think you're going to be doing this? Like, do you think this is something you're going to do well into your 30s? Is there other things that you want to accomplish by the time you're 30?
Yeah.
Have you thought about this at all?
Oh yeah, definitely. So I think Minecraft doesn't have too much time left with me, at least. Mainly because I want to start focusing more into vlogs, because I think that's where my passion has kind of drifted into. I've been doing Minecraft for almost 10 years now, and I will not gonna lie, it's very, very boring. I don't really have a lot of fun with the game anymore. I have fun when I play with friends, but when I record by myself, I do kind of dread it. But vlogs, so much fun. In terms of the future, obviously I actively invest into a bunch of companies. But I think what I really want to get into is real estate. I think it really fascinates me. I'm actually coming up pretty soon on buying my first apartment complex. So that is the first goal. And eventually I hope to be 40 years old and own maybe a couple thousand units. That would be great. But we'll see how it goes. I think it's going to be another whole roller coaster, but
That's amazing. And
yeah.
I guess just given your audience and like the age or the demographic for your audience, like I imagine so many of them look up to you in the sense that they want to become creators one day themselves. I imagine a lot of these young kids are really aspirational and they're like, this is the dream job. I think we hear that often now. What advice would you give to them if they're like thinking about like they're watching Unspeakable and they're telling their parents like I want to be Unspeakable one day? What advice would you give to them or any rising creator who's thinking about making it in social media today or YouTube?
Oh, I mean, number one, work hard, like really hard. I mean, you gotta have a passion for it for sure. Like a I'm dying, I must make a YouTube video kind of passion. Like it has to be like you have to go throughout the day and that's the only thing you can think about. And if you don't have a passion that strong, then you probably won't make it. I mean, YouTube is very competitive. There's a lot of people trying to do it. It's very hard to grow. You have to be very unique and you have to know how to entertain and hold an audience of people. You know, you're basically making yourself a celebrity off of nothing. You know, so you have to have a unique talent, a unique thing for people to watch you. You know, it's
Yeah, that's a good point. I'm so worried that young kids are so fascinated with how much money can be made on YouTube that they lose the point that, you know, you, Preston, Jimmy, Andre, like all these guys had been doing this for 7 years before they even became somewhat popular. But you guys started to do it for the love of making videos, right? And I feel like a lot of young kids now are like, oh, a lot of money can be made because, you know, the Forbes top 10 list, it's pretty eye-opening when you look at that list of how much money is being made over here. And now these kids think that, oh, I can just make videos for a couple of years and become a millionaire on YouTube. And that's just not the case. Like you have to be so overly obsessed with making content and videos. And I would say like you and most of the guys I work with, like you guys live and breathe this industry. Like you guys are as consumed in this as I've ever witnessed anyone being consumed in something.
Yeah, I mean, it's my entire life. Like, no, I'm being serious. It's my entire life. If I didn't have YouTube, I would be like a lost puppy. Like, I don't really know.
You and Jimmy, you guys could wander around the streets together.
Yeah, literally. It consumes you. It really does. But it's, you know, if it's your passion and you're happy doing what you love every day, then nothing else matters. I mean, I think that's like the true definition of happiness, honestly.
Yeah.
So
agreed. So Riot Games recently bought what they were originally calling it a game that could take on Minecraft. Nothing's been launched yet. I don't know where they're at in the development process, but it was called Hightail. And I don't know if you ever got to play the demo. A few of our creators did a couple of years ago. You said that you were getting bored of Minecraft content. Understandably, like I totally get that. Do you think there's a world where you just completely pivot the Unspeakable Gaming channel to all Hightail content?
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, if the demand, like we were talking about earlier, if the demand is there, if the audience is there, definitely, for sure.
It'll be interesting to see if they allow servers and if they have a EULA and some of this. I'd imagine Riot's probably not going to let creators make their own servers, but we'll see. I just have a feeling that the next wave of content will come from Hightail if this game ever launches. Who knows?
Yeah.
Blake probably knows more than I do. He's closer to the Riot team. But
I don't know anything. I promise. But I think it is interesting to think about given especially what we were talking about earlier, where Minecraft is now at this like very clear point of becoming a dominant spot, and Riot coming in, and who knows what this game's like, and if it's anything like we expect from a Riot game, it could be really, really exciting and spice the entire scene up.
Mm-hmm. Nathan, why do you think Quibi failed? Out of curiosity.
Quibi?
Yeah.
Remind me what that was again?
See, that's exactly why Quibi failed, right there.
I'm serious. I'm not lying. What was that? It rings a bell, but remind me what it was.
So Quibi was basically like a mobile first streaming service or OTT service that came out with short bites of clip, or like 5-minute clips that they called, I believe, Quibis. I think that was like the whole story, right? And they started launching all this like high-end content with different celebrities, and they ended up launching 6 months ago. What was it, $5.99, $10.99? I can't remember what the subscription was, to a pretty lackluster launch, but they ended up raising close to $1.6 billion to launch this thing.
Wow.
The company only lasted 6 months after its launch, and so interesting.
You had to pay for subscriptions?
Yeah, it was like a mobile first version of Netflix, right? Okay. Blake, am I totally off on that?
No,
I tried to explain it as best as I could.
They took a path of trying to pay like traditional celebrities to create like originals and on the platform, and so there was tons of like Quibi first content on this platform, and I mean, it was crazy to watch. I spent a ton to acquire all of that, and
I mean, I think that failed because I don't think there's a demand for that, really. I don't think, like, we see celebrities for what they are, whether they're making music, whether it's The Rock in movies, but like how many of those die-hard celebrity fans would actually pay to, see something like that,
Mm-hmm.
And they're also competing with, some of the biggest platforms in the industry that have already been around for so long. So it's, I don't know. I mean, I think the platform space is pretty rough. I've invested into some that have just fallen flat on their face. So and I'll probably won't invest in another one for a while. I mean,
that's good. I probably won't let you.
When's the last platform that you've seen that's taken off? Probably TikTok. But before TikTok, what was the last platform that made it huge? You probably can't really think of one, honestly. Like,
I think it was probably Twitch.
But Twitch has been around for a long time.
I know, yeah. Which is, long time ago. But I think that's the last one that's probably broken through.
I mean, you got to think people are only going to have so many apps and so many social media on their phone. I don't think we'll ever get to a point where we have, 15 different social media apps, because no one has the time to keep up with that stuff. They're going to have their TikTok, their Instagram, their Facebook, their YouTube, and that's about it. If anything else gets thrown into the mix, people feel like they're going to be overwhelmed.
Yeah, everyone's competing for attention, and I feel like YouTube creators like yourself have been able to gather a large amount of attention from kids every single day. I mean, you're putting content out, 3 videos a week on 2 videos a week on the vlog channel, 3 to 4 on the gaming. Yeah, I mean, the amount of content that you're putting out is just not feasible for any of these large streaming platforms. It would cost them a crazy amount of money to put out the volume that you're putting out. And out of curiosity, that how are you prioritizing TikTok right now? Because you're so heavily based and focused on YouTube. Is TikTok part of the strategy?
Yeah, it's definitely part of the strategy. So we're filming some TikToks. It's kind of difficult because we want to be original. We don't want to just copy big TikToks, but that's kind of what we've been doing because it's hard to think of like original ones.
Mhm.
Honestly, some of the TikToks that I guess you could say are original that no one's done before are some of the ones that we've actually just taken from vlogs. We just had this TikTok the other day that we took from our Halloween video, and it was just something dumb where I'm like acting like a kid and I'm, answering or knocking the door for candy, whatever. It was hilarious though. But that TikTok has only, I think it's been up for 3 days now. It's almost got 4 million views. I don't know. TikTok's an interesting place because I feel like the dumber stuff you post, the more attention it gets. Or the weirder stuff. It's just I don't even understand. Like some of our TikToks that are amazing, super well done, and they're but they're still entertaining. Too terrible. It's I think my most famous TikTok is that Halloween one that we just posted, and then it's another one of me jumping on a trampoline, but I'm doing a super weird jump where my legs almost touch my shoulders, and I'm pretty sure that has 4 or 5 million views.
Oh my gosh.
So, but yeah, we're definitely utilizing TikTok. It's a very, very powerful platform,
Mhm.
and it's super easy to grow on it too, and get attention on it. Out of all the platforms that I've ever seen, it's very easy to grow on.
Totally agree. Where do you think you can predict, if you were to say 5 years from now, how many subscribers do you think you'd have?
Ooh, hopefully 50 million.
On one channel or cumulatively?
One channel.
One channel? And I'm guessing that channel would be the vlog channel?
I think that channel will grow the fastest, yes. For sure.
Okay. So 50 million subs, October 29th of 2025.
Yeah, that's the goal. I mean,
Okay.
at the rate we're going at right now, we'll probably hit it before then, but
It's crazy to think the norm now is to be a big YouTuber is 10 million. It used to be 1 million. 10 years from now, is it going to be the threshold's 50? If you don't have 50 million subscribers, you're not a big YouTuber. It's weird to think about, but that's kind of where we're headed.
yeah, I mean, it will be. People are only going to get more and more followers as long as YouTube keeps growing. I mean, right now, most subscribed YouTuber is, what is it, 107, 110 million subscribers.
Most
But you
subscribed
have,
to? Yeah, it's way, way higher. I think it's in the 140s, right? T-Series?
oh, really? Oh, is it
Yeah.
T-Series? Okay.
They might even be higher now. I know Felix is it moves so quickly. Coco
Yeah.
Melon's probably over 100 million now.
Yeah, but I mean, if you think about Instagram, for example, you have Kylie Jenner that has 200 million followers.
Yeah.
I feel like Instagram, if you have 1 million followers on Instagram, yeah, that's a lot of followers, but a lot of people actually have 1 million followers. There's not a lot of people on YouTube that have 1 million subs. So, yeah, I think we're definitely getting to the point where 10 million subs isn't going to be a lot, and 25, 30 million is going to be kind of the norm. Oh, you're a big YouTuber now,
Yeah. Crazy to think about. When I first logged on the platform, I thought 1 million was eye-opening. And now you see so many creators with 1 million subs, and you're like, kind of a small channel. Maybe they'll catch on. Maybe they'll catch on one day and get to
really,
5 million. It's just crazy that this is what this has become.
Yeah.
I just don't see it going anywhere. I think I would, if of any platform, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, I would bet on YouTube over the course of the next 5 years over every other platform. And it's not even close.
Yeah. I mean, I think
1000%.
YouTube's very strong. I mean, the revenue, I think what carries YouTube so much is the revenue that you can make on YouTube. I really don't think another platform will be able to duplicate the type of ads and the type of money you can make on YouTube. Facebook can't do it. Instagram can't do it. I mean, maybe they can do it, but it might take them years.
Mhm.
They might have to change up their entire platform. So the opportunity that YouTube gives, I mean, without YouTube, I wouldn't be able to make my videos because I wouldn't have enough money to pay my 25 different employees that work full time. So, yeah, I think YouTube's going to be around for a long, long time.
Yeah. And also you could step away tomorrow and you would just continue to receive those residual checks from those VODs that live on your channel for who knows how long.
Yeah,
Do you think you're ever going to get to a point where you say, hey, I no longer want to do YouTube, but I want to keep my channel alive? And that might be when you hit 50 million subs. Like, have you ever thought about how do you transition yourself out of the channel, but still keep the Unspeakable brand alive on YouTube?
Ooh, that's.
I know I'm throwing fire right now.
I know it's hard because like I am the life of the channel.
Yep.
You know, I'm like the star. That's almost like saying, how do you be the Rock without the Rock? You know?
Mm-hmm.
So I think the only way to do it is to introduce other people into the videos and have them slowly take over. And I think doing something like that is definitely possible if I wanted to exit and get out of the channel, but it would take a long time. What I would do is I would have people come in to the channel and start to be in all the videos and have them slowly over time, just slowly take everything over. You know, each video we upload, they'll kind of take a little bit more incentive. They'll take a little bit more commentary. They'll take a little bit more of the challenge and the funniest bits. And then slowly over time, people will start to love them. And eventually it will just get to the point where it's like Unspeakable is barely in the videos anymore.
Yeah. Where'd he go?
So I think it's definitely possible. I think it would probably take a year or two to do.
Yeah.
But
I think we're at that point.
Do it.
Yeah.
It is possible to do it with still keeping the channel on track and it's still getting millions and millions of views without me being there. I think
I think we're coming to that point where we're going to see some larger YouTube channels try and exit the main talent while also trying to bring someone in to take over. So I think the next like two to 3 years, we're going to see people try and do this, and it'll be interesting to see how it goes.
Yeah. The only thing is you can't just make a harsh cut with it.
Yeah.
Because that's going to completely kill the channel. I mean, like, I don't know if you guys remember Ray William Johnson. Yep. He was the star of his channel. Everyone absolutely loved him. He was hilarious. And then one day he just stopped. And then the next video uploaded was a completely different guy. And he's just like, yo, I'm the new host. And everyone hated him. And his whole channel just went skyrocketing downhill. So that's not the way to do it.
Yeah, let's not do that. We'll make it like a 2 to 3 year transition.
Yeah, it will
get someone else in there.
Multiple year transition.
I see a lot of larger YouTube channels where the talent's getting in their early 30s, late 30s, where they're going to be like, you know what, it's time for me to step away. But I just don't want to let the channel sit there and not upload ever again. So I'm looking forward to seeing how people do this over the course of the next few years.
It's interesting. I think it's easily if you do it the right way and you get the right person to take over, it can happen.
Yeah,
for sure. But it's very sensitive because all these people that watch your videos for so many years love you for you, and you can't just take that away. You know.
Last question: is there anything else that you are looking to accomplish before the end of the year? It's almost November 1st. Anything else we have
before the end of the year? I really want to have more editors.
There's a call for editors to get hired right now.
You and every other YouTuber on the planet, I think, right now.
We want more editors. I mean, really, we're just trying to build out the rest of the team before the year. We're looking for directors. We're looking for editors. We're looking for PAs that can help us, set up vlogs, tear down vlogs. We're just trying to get more employees. We're just trying to get more help, more hands on deck, because the more help we have, the bigger the videos we can make. So
awesome. Well, I appreciate you coming on, man. First podcast ever. We're just under an hour, so thanks for taking time.
Not a problem. It was a ton of fun.
Awesome, man.